This is a Clouds weather alert.
On this Saturday afternoon, we're back with you now with a tornado warning in play for part of Atkinson, Clinch, and Ware counties, and excuse me, until about 12:30. So we need to go ahead and get folks into shelter right now, into ward that area. We have a possible tornado here. As we're tracking things that we need to take additional precautions if things are tightening up there. Right now in toward our area of southeastern Georgia, right near Cogdale. You need to take shelter. I think we have a tornado on the ground now. Yeah, I'm seeing a debris signature, folks. So we need to get folks into shelter immediately in this area. A tornado on the ground right here near Cogdale. You need to take shelter right away here. You can see that debris just starting to pop up there on that latest scan. It just started to become apparent there. And it looks pretty rural out here right now, but I know definitely gonna have to watch more as we get into toward Ware County here. Again, there's a tornado in progress. Now we have a debris signature at about 1,500 feet at least, so that's not really high up. As the radar is pretty close, but there's your confirmed polygon now, a tornado in progress. Weather Service calling it that as well. So at 12:09, a confirmed tornado is located near Cogdale or near Argyle, moving northeast at 30 miles an hour. This is a damaging tornado. Waycross, Cogdale, Pebble Hill, Dixie, Union, and Millwood all under this tornado warning. This storm is really, it's gotten that hook there on it. So all of a sudden we go from not really having warnings in play for a moment to several warnings. Make it 4 warnings, 3 severe thunderstorm warnings, which we'll go over as we have time, and a tornado warning here for Atkinson, Clinch, and Ware. A confirmed tornado located near Cogdale or near Argyle, moving northeast at 30 miles an hour. So this is a confirmed tornado on the ground here, folks. In our area, we have a debris signature evident on the Doppler radar. It's all about protecting you, your friends, and your family. So that's what we're near right now. I know it can be not necessarily on our coverage side of things, but when TV stations are coming in on maybe coverage of sporting events on Saturday, I know people get upset, but it's very, very necessary. This storm has a hook on it right now. But you need to take shelter here. Need to take those tornado precautions here right away. We have a tornado on the ground here in our coverage area. It is important to take shelter at this moment. This is a confirmed tornado right now here in southeastern Georgia. A confirmed tornado doing damage. So that's what we're talking about right now. We're trying to gather the latest information. Let me keep checking some of my different resources here that we have at our disposal here in toward the Weather Center. Just trying to let you guys know here we have a tornado that's in progress right now as we're done with stuff. This is something that is hazardous here for folks in South Georgia. Again, moving northeast at 30 miles an hour. This tornado here moving out of Clinch County and into Ware County right now. You see here our blues, those are winds going toward the radar, Moody Air Force Base. The red winds going away from the radar. So again, there's your possible tornado here for future areas, but we know it's one that's on the ground right now. And actually, they say that, well, maybe back to being a possible tornado as that debris signature kind of broke back up again a little bit. So that's some good news, but we got to keep on tracking things. Again, a tornado, it's moving northeast at 30 miles an hour. Again, you see Waycross there over the next little bit. You see that little C shape on the Doppler radar technology. We're just going to keep looking at things, and you can see here around Moody Air Force Base, we have some severe thunderstorm warnings in play. We have another one for that area to the north, but I know we had a gust of about 55 miles an hour just before the lunch hour there, just southwest of Augusta. So that required a warning to go to 1245 for parts of Madison, Lanier, Lowndes, and Brooks counties. Severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-an-hour wind gust, and then another severe thunderstorm warning Now, being issue for Hamilton, Eccles, and Clinch. That's from the Jacksonville office. That goes out until 1 o'clock. So, again, we're tracking this here very carefully. Again, a tornado warning, folks. So, go to the north is what we're dealing with. That's what we have that hook on the radar with here right now. We need to take shelter. We can't mess around here because we know this is a history of producing a tornado. So, again, we're just trying to give you guys the very latest here. Let me go ahead and zoom back on in. So right now we're seeing winds about 70 gate to gate. That's less than what it was here. But if we had a tornado down, that'd be about what the winds would probably be. But when this was actually down for sure with the debris signature here, I mean, we had some values here getting closer to about 80 miles an hour. Maybe even, as I look back on the scan before, it adds up to 90 miles an hour. So right there, that's where it was down. Maybe you had a 90 mile an hour type of tornadic scenario in parts of northeastern Clinch County. So I know we'll go ahead and go on over to the tornado safety tips right now. You want to seek shelter inside a sturdy building, get as many walls between you and the outside as possible, and protect yourself from flying debris by putting on a bicycle helmet here, a football helmet, or a baseball helmet would also work. You also want to have your shoes on in the aftermath of something like this so you don't cut your feet up. So again, a tornado in progress right now in parts of the area. Excuse me, as we continue to track things. Let me go ahead and go on over here right now to our EF scale. I mean, we're talking when we say 90 mile an hour winds on radar, maybe like an EF1 type tornado. That's what the radar technology was showing us, but the information that we see on radar is not official. Things have to be confirmed by damage surveys after the fact to get an estimate of what the winds were, because the radar can't measure winds. Tornado indicators are really based upon the damage, and then that's what goes into the EF scale wind type of numbers here. There's certain things that happen that correlate to certain type of wind speeds here, as we don't have, of course, anemometers everywhere to measure the wind, or it's not like we have a hurricane hunter or anything out there either in this type of situation, measuring winds there to give us an idea. Maybe we're trying to get down toward the surface in a more direct fashion. But okay, they're updating the warning. Still, they're calling observed for now. Let's see if the debris signature came back. I mean, it's still kind of hanging on a little, but it's at a pretty low level, so I'm not sure if it's actually down or not. This is higher up, though, a few moments ago. I mean, it got up to 5,000 feet, so that makes me think about an EF1 tornado. Is probably what we had there. Can't guarantee it, though. You see that C-shape. You got to be careful here because this is headed in the general direction of Waycross, which I know we have a lot of rural areas that, have had warnings here today and tornado threats, but this is headed in a more urban area here if this holds together over the next little bit. So there's the official update. The Polygon actually circulation's not as tight, but we still have a chance of a tornado here. They're still saying they're still calling it a confirmed tornado, at least it's the weather service in Jacksonville here. So again, we'll kind of go over that information again. Again, a tornado warning right now until 12:30. A confirmed tornado located east of Cogdale or 7 miles north of Argyle, moving northeast at about 30 miles an hour. This is a damaging tornado that's been confirmed through Doppler radar technology. So Waycross, Pebble Hill, and Dixie Union under this tornado warning right now. Again, take your tornado precautions here. This is a tornado warning here, folks, that's in effect for another 12 minutes at least. But the way that hook is, that really developed on us, and with the tornado parameter just kind of getting by itself just a little bit here, you have the instability. This could be an issue for Waycross here, folks. If I'm in Waycross, I mean, you're under the warning technically in Waycross. I know it's just kind of barely there, especially if I'm on the northern side of Waycross. I think I'd go ahead and take my tornado precautions right now. I don't wait around here for this. Because you might not have a lot of time. If they were to issue a new tornado warning, it'd be kind of cutting it close here in terms of just you getting to shelter because it'd be closer toward town. And so if you're in Waycross, you need to be taking those tornado precautions, especially if you're in the northern side of town here. Don't wait around because these storms, I know we haven't had a whole bunch today, and things have been hit or miss. But the problem is, this setup, in theory, could be capable of producing something a little bit stronger, like an EF2 type tornado. And if they hit a popular area, we could see injuries. We could have mobile homes severely damaged. So that's why we gotta really be careful here around Waycross. And this part of Georgia, a lot of our South Georgia areas, I mean, there's a lot of rural regions within Waycross. Is a more urban area here, and this is heading the general direction of Waycross there in Ware County. So again, at the last check, at least, it was an observed tornado according to the office in Jacksonville. You can't really tell there. Let me check our Jacksonville radar. No, it's further away, but it'll give us a different angle on this. That's definitely tight rotation off of that. We don't see debris at this point. I want to see if we had debris up there off of Jacksonville earlier. I wouldn't be surprised if we did. And yeah, we did, which that's not what you want to see, because that's 6,000 feet up. So it indicates, I mean, it could have been close to an EF2 tornado with debris getting that high, but at least an EF1 tornado here in South Georgia. That was pretty rural. Doesn't mean it didn't hit something. I mean, hit something for the debris to come up, but I mean, when I say that, I mean, it could hit trees and the like versus homes. But again, Waycross has a lot more homes, and this is heading that general direction right now. You're going to be careful around Waycross here. Take your tornado precautions if you're on Waycross. This is an area that, I mean, it's a region here that's pretty populated. As we get more into Ward Town here, we have a history with this storm of tornadic production that has been confirmed. So, again, and if we get this more on western Georgia County, we cover a big area. If you guys have watched over the years, I mean, we covered it in southwest, south central Georgia. We get this a lot more often over there. We don't get this as much in southeast Georgia here in the Jacksonville TV market per se, with a confirmed tornado headed to a more populated area here. So that's why we got to be kind of careful with this. Just don't want people caught off guard there in Ware County. The models haven't handled this perfectly. They've been okay, but they've definitely not handled this perfectly. So again, we have a tornado warning for Ware County. They dropped out. It looks like, let's see here. They've dropped out Atkinson and Clinch out of the tornado warning. So it's all about our friends in Ware County. Now, Atkinson and Clinch kind of get more toward the Tallahassee/Albany market, but this is Ware County now we're talking about, and that's all the Jacksonville television market. We have a storm that has had a history of producing a tornado over the last little bit, headed toward Waycross. Doesn't mean it'll produce another one. It very well may not produce another one. I mean, in theory, the odds would probably say that a little bit better chance that it does not, but the problem is we can't take that chance here. There's still a decent chance it does, and that it recycles here right when it's coming into town and causes big problems, and people maybe aren't expecting it on a Saturday afternoon. Yet there is a tornado watch in play, so they should have had some advance notice. We told you guys Thursday night as well about this threat. We even talked about some of this, I believe, even further back, but especially Thursday night, we hit the point home. So this shouldn't be sneaking up on you really around Waycross here right now in Ware County. So just going to try to do some more really extrapolations here per se. I'm making a rotation tracker. Yeah, that's what we're going to do right now. And just kind of drag this along potential paths. So maybe the south side of Waresboro. And then you see coming right up there. I mean, this is an estimate here. It's kind of hard to do it for certain, but maybe close right toward the airport there in Waycross. Maybe, I mean, maybe just right there near the airport is where this could be tracking, or just south, maybe just south of the airport there in Waycross over the next little bit here. It's going to be interesting here as we're looking at things on the Doppler technology. I mean, I'm trying to draw in things out. You can't see some of the stuff I'm drawing, but I'm extrapolating out, and I had it going right at the airport. So if you're at the Waycross Airport, make sure you're taking tornado precautions here. I know there's not a lot of time, but there's anything you can do for the planes there to kind of make sure they're in a better position to handle this and do it. You don't have a lot of time there at the Waycross Airport there in Ware County. So again, let's keep tracking this here right now. Again, a tornado that has a history of being on the ground here, headed toward Waycross, headed maybe toward the Waycross area and the airport in play there. So, I mean, we're talking about Ware County Airport to be precise. This storm has a hook on it out. You don't get this as much in southeast Georgia. We get it in southwest, south central Georgia, even the Big Bend. We don't get this as much in the Jacksonville television market. I know it's just barely in the Jacksonville market, but all the stations are going to be on for sure. They are on. I was looking here just a moment ago, trying to protect you, your friends, and your family, just like me here, trying to get folks in shelter here around Waycross. Again, this storm is dangerous in Ware County right now. You gotta make sure you're taking precaution. You don't want to mess around here in Waycross. I know it's another weekend with severe weather. We go back about a month. We had it. We had it in December there. I know just a few of them coming to mind here, and now another one right now. Again, a confirmed tornado at one point. That's what's headed toward Waycross here in Ware County. I mean, pretty familiar with Waycross there. Haven't been in a while, but I've been there before. Of course, part of our 62 counties been there. I'd say more than once. I know I've been at least once, though, over the years. We're talking about 13,942 people here in Waycross. So, again, you need to take shelter there around Waycross right now in Ware County. You don't want to mess around here, folks. You don't want to mess around in Waycross right now. And maybe toward the Ware County Airport, a tornado may be headed your way. So again, we're just going to keep on tracking everything here. Again, you see that hook there on this storm. We don't like having that hook here on the Doppler technology. We have other severe thunderstorm warnings in effect east of Ed there, Homerville area as well. But those aren't the focus right now, really, because of this being a little bit more of a situation that can have a higher end type effect here. That's the thing about it. This could have a higher end type of effect here if we were to get things to come into play. So, again, we're just going to keep checking things here, keep tracking them. Let's see if there's any questions or comments. I don't really see any questions, but, we're keeping everybody in our thoughts and prayers up there. And, yeah, Suzanne, thanks for watching here as well as we go ahead and bring the view back up toward Waycross there in Ware County. Again, this is a tornado that has a history of being on the ground here. So we need you guys to take shelter right away. I know severe thunderstorm warning to the south. We have those continuing, updating there. It looks like Brooks canceled out of one, but continuing for Madison, Lanier, and Lowndes. And then another one here, continuing for Clinch and Ware, but canceled for Atkinson. So again, we're just going to keep checking this here. Keep monitoring the situation. Again, a confirmed tornado at one point here, and that's moving toward Waycross. Can't guarantee it's going to touch down, but we just the optics of this say that we got to be really careful. I mean, you see quite a bit of wind energy in here. I will say that storm mode looked a little bit less organized here now. Yeah, I think, okay, that's good news. I see what's going on. See that Storm Near Manor? That Storm Near Manor is breaking it up. So, I mean, sometimes these interactions, you can get a quick burst here or something, maybe a little bit stronger, but in theory, this could be some good news for Waycross here because of that kind of, really, this main storm kind of ingested another storm here, per se, that actually kind of generally will help to ultimately weaken things in this type of setup with a tornado because you don't want hooks on this type of day, but if you get more linear, more about damage and winds versus tornado, the winds are still there, and you just got to be careful it doesn't kind of bounce up for a second. Sometimes you can get that. You can get something to kind of strengthen on you for a moment, but in general, that should be a good sign, but don't want to guarantee it yet here. You have Waresboro under here as well. Yeah, that started to weaken in that latest scan because of that other storm coming up on it, ingesting that other storm here. So what I'm talking about, let me go ahead and say, you guys, here, you can see that storm around Argyle. It came up on it here from the south, and now that's kind of merged. That's to cut off the more significant rotation here, I would think. That'd be great news here for Waycross, but we've got to still take shelter for now until the tornado warning goes away. So we can't let our gird down there around Waycross and Ware County as we continue to watch things here. Continue to monitor. Let me go ahead and keep looking here at some of the information. Again, tornado warning still in effect here for parts of the area. Well, that view here, I think that might be a higher up one, yeah, because I switched over for a second. That was a moment ago, and the higher tier is definitely something well organized. I go even little bit higher. That didn't suit as well, but I mean, this one right here, somewhat kind of scrubbed through it. I mean, the latest scan says maybe it's some weakening because of that storm from the south. This kind of like what you see in Oklahoma sometimes, and that some other parts of the country where you get another storm to kind of cut off a circulation, a supercellular circulation here. But that's good news. That's definitely good news here. They may not even. We only have 1 more minute left in the tornado warning because of what we just saw here. That storm from the south. I may go ahead and put in full loop here. Let me make sure we have all our frames. I just want to see what I'm talking about here. I think it's pretty interesting from a neological perspective. You saw how that area from the south, it kind of came up on it here. It's kind of watch, and then it kind of merges in there. They may not even issue a new tornado warning. Maybe they go with a thunderstorm warning of the tornado possible. We'll see. They may still want to be careful because the time frame is a little bit tricky here. I may want to go with a tornado warning here anyway. But okay, as of now, I don't see a new one popping up, so that's a good sign here. That's a good sign initially. So let's go ahead and take out this tornado warning precautions here. Unless we get another one to pop one up on us. We did have a tornado down further to the west, and still could have damaging winds, I would say, around Waycross. The severe thunderstorm warning goes till 12:45, includes the western side of Waycross. They gave them a little bit longer here to kind of decide on what they want to do, I think. If they already had the thunderstorm warning in play, they would have to extend the thunderstorm warning further off, and I think they will. I do think they will here. But there's always a chance they just might want to issue a tornado warning instead further off if things kind of trend back up again. The Weather Service in Jacksonville is who I'm talking about. So, again, I'm continuing to watch things. We're just going to keep on checking, keep on tracking here. We'll stick with this a little longer at least because we have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings in place. So let's stick with this. I know sometimes on air they'll go back to programming here. I mean, they have obligations too. Okay, well, they're not going back because we just got a new tornado warning. Okay, they don't feel comfortable enough with this. Then they let it go for a second. Well, it's got to come up on this system. They don't want to get folks caught off guard here. A new tornado warning just popping up. So let me go ahead and continue to check things here. Continue to watch the situation. Let me go ahead. There you go on this mode. I'm looking at a couple different computer sources right now, so bear with me. We're sticking with this. Obviously, there's a tornado warning now until 1 o'clock for parts of Pierce and Ware counties. Just a one-man band here in the Weather Center, so trying to keep an eye on everything here as I'm talking to you guys. So if I'm kind of distracted just for a second, I'm trying to get some things I figured out with this storm situation with that new warning as it pops on up here. Letting you guys know exactly what is going on here to protect you, your friends, and your family. So, again, trying to let you guys know. Let me just go ahead and see what we got here. We're going to keep on checking. Let me go ahead here. Okay, so at about 12:30, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located near Pebble Hill, or 7 miles west of Waycross, moving northeast about 35 miles an hour. So there's enough here. I mean, I'm not sure if it's going to produce, but I see why they wanted to reissue. There just wasn't enough time, they didn't think, to kind of just drop this and hope for the best here. So, again, because we saw that storm get ingested by the main storm, so that should help us out here, but let's just keep looking at things, keep tracking things here. Again, you can kind of see here that storm track on the rotation. There's areas of red and blue here. Those are indicative of that. So, again, that's going to continue to track all this here for you. Let me go ahead and keep checking here. Again, we're looking there south of Waresboro. And that's kind of where we're at right now, at least right in the town. As we continue to watch here, just going through everything, trying to keep you guys up to date. So let's see if there's any debris here. Not right now. That's good. It's not something that I would expect as much as I did earlier on here, and we saw right after we came on the air. So again, we have a tornado warning till 1 o'clock for Pierce and Ware counties. At 12:30, it's a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. It was located near Pebble Hill, or 7 miles west of Waycross, moving northeast at 35 miles an hour. Waycross and Pebble Hill around 12:35. Jamestown around 12:40, and Blackshear around 12:45. So take cover now. Move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows, and if you're outdoors in a mobile home or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. So again, you have a tornado warning, 4 parts of Waycross, the north side of town, really. I mean, you don't have it right in, maybe downtown, depending on exactly where downtown is, but you have it up toward the airport here, as we were talking about a moment ago here in our cover. That looks even weaker, though. That honestly looks like more like a severe thunderstorm there versus a tornado situation, kind of what we're talking about with storm mode. But they're on the side of caution here, and I'm okay with it. Because of the history of this and history of that Coffee County storm, I think might have caught some folks off guard. They didn't quite have the tornado warning there before that tornado touched down. This populated area right toward an airport. So again, it's tricky. It's very tricky in this setup. I mean, we've been watching stuff in the middle of the night, and we're still in a situation where there's a lot more time to watch things. So at least it hadn't been continuous. It's been kind of on and off here. We had to watch stuff. We haven't had to be on like 9 hours straight. That wouldn't be fun. But again, we're just going to keep on checking things here. Keep on tracking here in the Weather Center. Just kind of reading through some stuff right now. I know it's a tricky situation to continue to give you guys the very latest. You see that? So that's breaking up some. Let's look out here. That's quite a bit of wind right near the radar. Out here in parts of Eccles and Clinch counties, severe thunderstorm warning until 1 o'clock, or parts of Eccles, Clinch, and Hamilton counties. Hamilton, of course, in Florida. So we're going to watch that area here. Kind of looks like more of that wind, more out in here now versus back in the other polygon at Tallahassee issues. So probably this here, that up there, those are your 2 biggest areas to watch right now. Again, I'm seeing less and less organization with a rotation now, which is some good news here. But we have a tornado warning from about Waresboro to the Ware County Airport up toward Blackshear. So you got to be careful here. You can't take things for granted, in that we could still have a tornado touching down here at points. Not out of the question. Again, going to keep watching. We got a tornado warning in effect right now until 1 o'clock. We did have a tornado touchdown earlier on, but right now it looks weaker, as we talked about here. Let me loop this back around. Right there in northeastern Clinch County, we had a tornado on the ground about 12:08. I mean, that was pretty clear there. Probably, I mean, you can probably see it started closer to 12:05 even. I think you started to see a little bit of debris there, but 12:08, and then you can see about 12:10 it was starting to fade some. So somewhere in that time range there, that's when we had the tornado down. Right after, I believe, let me double check the timing on this. So that warning, the tornado warning, was issued at about 12:05. So right after that, that's when it was starting to touch down. Probably mere moments after, or about right then. But again, he's still looking here earlier on at a hook. Right now, it's more elongated here on the Doppler technology. So that looks like they're going to have to drop the tornado warning, quite honestly, because that looks very disorganized right now. Doesn't mean something couldn't happen, so they're not going to do it yet, but that looks very disorganized. I don't think that's going to produce a tornado right now, but still some damage and winds, a possibility toward the airport there, and you just got to keep that in mind. Okay, they've canceled the tornado warning now. That's what I thought they were going to have to do, because it just really broke up. That other storm, that was the really catalyst for it. That other storm coming in from the south, breaking things up, and now the tornado warning has been canceled for Pierce and Ware. It'll drop off the screen in a matter of seconds. But again, the tornado warning has been canceled now for Pierce and Ware. That rotation has weakened. We like seeing that. We like hearing that here in the weather center. That warning, that new warning is here at 12:30. Expiring that, canceling that out. Cancel would be the right wording here. Not expiring, because if it expired, it would go to the 1 o'clock hour. They cancel that means it's over with immediately. So that's good news. That's something that folks, I know if they're trying to watch like sports on TV, will like to hear, because the stations will go back to programming, I'm sure, at that point. We're going to stay on a little longer though, but at 12:38 they said the tornado warning for southwestern Pierce, that's what's over in Jacksonville, southwestern Pierce and north central Ware counties is canceled. The storm, which prompted a warning, has weakened below severe limit and no longer appears capable of producing a tornado. Therefore, the warning is canceled. However, gusty winds are still possible with this thunderstorm, so just keep that in mind. So, severe thunderstorm warning still in effect to some degree there in some of these different areas. So that's something to kind of monitor. Again, just checking here. I know we do have a significant advisory down toward the Big Bend region, by the way. Tallahassee's gotten to the worst, but Crawfordville, not severe there, but you could have gusts there up to 50 miles an hour and some pea-sized hail around Crawfordville. Again, non-severe up there, though. Stuff to the north a little bit more put together, but again, not as nasty as it has been at points. I mean, this area looks pretty nasty here near weather into the radar, so I'm pretty sure that's just kind of maybe some interference in this storm here in Camden strong, but that's interesting, that hook on it, but I don't think it's going to have enough time to go severe tornadic, but we'll just continue to watch things here, continue to give you guys the very latest as the situation does evolve. So again, we're just continuing to watch here, continuing to give you guys here the latest update. Let me go ahead and just keep on looking here right now what's going on. I'm going through some of our different sources here. Let me just keep checking for the very latest here as the situation does evolve. Let me go ahead and just kind of go through everything here. Let me make sure I'm covering all our bases as things do develop. So again, we're just going to keep on letting you guys know here what we're talking about for just a little longer. Let me just keep on checking here. So there's Clinch County. That's a pretty strong wind there north of Weathers. We'll have to watch that later on as we track that on out. Maybe those are pretty rural areas. That's really rural, which is good news though. So even if this was damage in here, that'd go in more rural areas. So again, we'll continue to watch the progress of it, but that might be more toward Winnaker, White Oak, maybe Brunswick later on, as we continue to watch things, continue to track them. Again, I'm just going through everything here with our tools in the weather center. The one warning through a thunderstorm warning for Clinch and Ware that lasts until 12:45. I see now they have issued an advisory for Jacksonville office. I'm talking about for parts of Duval and St. John's. So let's see, they're seeing these little storms develop now. It may not be enough. I mean, the parameters, they're there, but these storms right into the coast, it'd be kind of hard for these to develop in anything too crazy, too quick in this environment, I would think. We'll watch, but I mean, this one right here, a little bit stronger with the wind, but again, I don't think we'll quite have enough time with it to actually develop. So again, we just have to continue to watch here, continue to give you guys everything you need here. We still got a while to go with this. Unfortunately, I know that Bradford County Fair we were talking about here, maybe having a better afternoon. Well, this stuff has really developed out ahead more than what we were thinking, so may have some disruptions here with the rainfall. Maybe a little bit of lightning even, unfortunately. So just keep that in mind. Try to be patient here in this type of scenario. So again, let me go ahead and kind of zoom back out again. I know you can kind of see what we're talking about with the pretty busy radar. But then going back to the north, there's that. That's really strong. That's almost like tightening up a little bit for Pretty tornadic rotation. That is again, a really rural area though out there. That would help us out. Yeah, that's as rural as it gets pretty much. We did just get a new warning. A new severe thunderstorm warning for Brantley, Pearson, Ware until 1:15. So again, just trying to give you guys the latest updates there. Again, Brantley, Pearson, Ware counties until 1:15. That warning will be popping up here momentarily on that source, but it's already up my other one. So there you go. Okay, just popped up there. But there's another look at it. One source pops up a little quicker, but yeah, Waycross, some stronger activity coming on in. Maybe some damage and winds. I didn't see as much here again as I did earlier. You gotta watch down here because I thought I saw some more rotation developing around Withers. We need to watch that because it's pretty close to the radar. So I mean, if something touches down, we'll see it real quick. It's a very rural area though, so that really helps us out. If something did touch down, we have to stay on, of course. But in that case, versus a thunderstorm warning, we don't have to. It was in a really rural area. If tornado warning's in effect, though, if a tornado warning's in effect, we do have to be with you guys. We're seeing winds about 70, very close to the surface here, so keep that in mind. Moving there toward State Road 187, US 441. Again, we're just going to keep on tracking things here. Keep on giving you guys the latest. I'm just kind of looking at everything here all together. You see some of that blue there. Again, that's indicative of very strong winds. I mean, if that was in a populated area, we'd be concerned about that type of wind. But there's Waycross. There's your severe thunderstorm warning up there. You see a little bit of wind here, maybe 45, 50 coming into town on our radar. So southwestern Pierce, west central Brantley, and northern Ware counties until 1:15. At 12:43, a severe thunderstorm was located near Waycross, moving east about 35 miles an hour. So again, kind of situation there. We're talking about Waycross, Blackshear, Boggy Bay, Jamestown, Pebble Hill, and Needham. So again, that's a severe thunderstorm warning for Waycross. So that area until about 1:15, but no tornado possible tag there. But this one right here, let me see if we have a tornado tag on it. I don't think we do, no, but there's a tornado watch until 2 o'clock. May get another one later, but it's got to kind of watch that. That's very rural, but going to still cross over State Road 187. That is a type of wind that could down, and I'm sure it's probably down in some trees right now out there as we're looking northeast of Withers. So let's check the other radar to see. I know here you're not going to get as good of a look, but seeing some of that wind there, but this is the radar that's way closer, and that would seemingly be some damaging wind in there. I mean, we're seeing pixels of 65 miles an hour, so, and that's about to be, if it's not already over State Road 187, it's going to be same here, or at least soon, maybe not as soon, but soon for US 441, so keep that in mind, even though it's pretty rural out here. Eventually, we're talking about some more areas being impacted, so. Again, severe thunderstorm warning now versus tornado warning. That's a good thing here, but we could always see an escalation again. We've seen it multiple times today where things kind of bounce down and then bounce back up again. So, again, we're just going to keep on checking here all of our different resources here in the Weather Center. Let me just keep looking at everything that I have here at my disposal as the situation does evolve on us here. I know, we're just trying to see here what's going on. So, excuse me, y'all. So again, continuing the coverage for a little longer at least. We have Waycross with some nasty weather coming into town for you guys. That's interesting. That pixel just kind of started to increase again with the wind. A little bit further south now, moving right more inward Waycross. So keep that in mind. Not something that's really rotating, but a little bit of wind enhancement moving into Waycross there. Wind's about 55 miles an hour. Seemingly coming more into town here. So be careful around Waycross. It's going to be over the next 3, maybe to 5 minutes. Coming into Ward Town here, you have a little bit of scale growth with this, a little bit of strength in it, maybe in that one area. So we're just going to keep looking at it, keep monitoring it as the afternoon does go on here. I mean, eventually that'll be out of our area, but we'll continue to watch. I mean, when I say out of our area, it may actually kind of still linger a bit here for our northeastern counties, and then when I say out of the area, it'll be over maybe the Atlantic coastal waters, but still, again, we'll just continue to watch. You see the winds down here look a little more impressive right near the radar. I mean, this is reading very low down to the ground here, so that's impressive. We have some discrete development out ahead, but again, I'm not seeing a whole bunch with that. It just doesn't look all that organized out ahead here. But we'll pay attention. We'll watch. We'll track. We'll give you guys the latest here as it is necessary. But again, let me go ahead. We're gonna keep checking things. Again, Waycross getting some lightning right now. Whenever thunder roars, you need to go indoors there around Waycross in Ware County. So keep that in mind there. Again, I'm just trying to let you guys know exactly what is happening here. Just trying to give you guys everything you need as we're checking all of our different sources. And I see with thunderstorms, sometimes you can have tornadoes occasionally with them. I don't know how with this, but just sticking with it a little longer since we're riding the water Waycross here. You can use our discretion. We can stay on longer than if you're not on a traditional television outlet here, because obviously folks don't really like it too much when sporting events get interrupted. We've had a lot around here lately, more than we generally have. But again, let's go ahead and keep looking at things. We're just gonna keep on checking the Doppler view a little longer. I know. Let's go to Tallahassee radar. Check the stuff down toward Crawfordville if we have any folks watching down there. It doesn't look too organized. That's good, but still some gusty winds, heavy rain, maybe occasional lightning. As we get back up toward the north, that's where we have severe. And we just have to keep on looking at things there for sure. So, tornado watch goes until 2 o'clock in that yellow highlighted area. There's your risk area for today. You're 2 out of 5. That's for your wind. Tornado threat a little bit further north where it cuts off the highest one. And then we do have a little bit of a hail risk here as well. So again, just going to keep looking. Going to keep tracking. Going to keep checking. Just trying to go through everything that we have here at our disposal. We're just letting you guys know what's happening. Let's bounce over here. Still seeing some very strong winds here about around State Road 187. It's going to be over a rural area though, so long as it doesn't go tornadic, we'll probably be okay. But again, you're still got to be careful for the few folks that are out there, but that's toward the Okefenokee. Now, earlier on, we are now getting a report from emergency management out of areas there toward the Big Bend region, where Leon County Emergency Manager, they reported a tree down on some power lines along Veterans Memorial Drive there near Miccosukee around 10:42 a.m. So an hour, and I guess, no, 2 hours, I'm sorry, 2 hours and 11 minutes ago. That was kind of the storyline there. So again, just continuing to track everything. Continuing to let you guys know what's going on. Let me go ahead here and switch some stuff around. Again, that's definitely impressive, but it's not in a very populated area at all. So we've got to be careful with a few folks that are out there, but it's not tornadic, so we're not required to stay on for that. Waycross is a popular area. There's some strong weather, maybe not as strong of winds to the south and west, but still some nasty weather moving through town right now. So keep that in mind there in Ware County. Some lightning, some heavy rain, some gusty winds here. So still got to be careful. Again, let's switch back over. We'll switch over to your satellite right now. There's your infrared satellite. Trying to give you guys the latest. There's kind of how things are looking right now. The colder cloud tops there, stronger convection. Going back over to this view. You can see some isolated storms here. Again, we'll watch for rotation with them. There's some weak areas. They just don't know. I don't know if they have enough in them to really get too crazy. I mean, you're kind of not right in the best tornado parameters out to the east, and then instability's there though. But I don't know if we're gonna have enough time to really develop. So I could just kind of weaken some of the stuff further back and away. So depends on if we can get some stuff kind of in between. But again, I just continue to give you guys the very latest here. I'm trying to let you guys know what is happening. So we move the map back up toward the north right now. Again, we're just checking everything here. We're trying to make sure you guys really know what we're dealing with. So Waycross still getting some nasty weather. I mean, that airport there, getting some heavy thunderstorm activity. I mean, the winds haven't picked up too much from what I've seen in the last report, but it may take a little longer for more numbers to come out of there in terms of wind readings. But again, there's Waycross right now. I mean, 40, 50 mile-an-hour winds are likely. Augusta 60 not out of the question there. And then we're watching this stuff to the south. So this warning goes away at 1. So let's wait to see if they extend this. And this one here, it's more populated areas coming up, but less likely, I would say, to extend right now. I mean, this is showing up more on wind mode here, organized and based on directions. So it may be playing tricks with us a little bit here, but I know this was moving over more rural areas. So they may still extend, but there's not quite as much really concern. When I say rural, I don't just mean like rural. I mean like it's pretty much going to be going over the Okefenokee Swamp. So I don't mean to just kind of talk about it as if nobody's out here, but there's just not a lot of folks out here when you're talking about areas closer, at least, toward the Okefenokee. So again, we're just going to keep on checking things here. Again, that warning for Waycross. You have some winds. They're pretty strong up there, 40, 50, maybe I guess to 60. I'll check our Jacksonville radar, see if it's showing anything different. When you see some of that wind there right over town, a little bit higher level on radar. This radar also shows some of that as well off the Robbins radar closer to Macon. It's a little further away, but it gives you a little bit different view on the angles here. If you're really into radar meteorology, you kind of know what I mean. But again, I'm just going to continue to check here. Continue to track. Again, trying to give you guys the latest here. Just trying to keep you guys updated. Again, that's Ware County. And we're letting you guys know what's going on. Again, just trying to read over everything here in the Weather Center. It looks a little weaker on that latest scan. Looks more broad. That might be enough for I'm not to issue another warning, especially with that going over more rural area. The way that's organized there. I mean, it is still a pretty interesting structure, though, in terms of just a squall line type view, but the setup in is favorable maybe for some of those winds to reach down in a lot of ways. So again, watching things, I see, okay, we got a couple different things coming out now. Okay, so they are going to issue a new warning. That's the biggest takeaway. And the tornado watch has been trimmed back even further now. So no longer in effect here for Leon, Liberty, Brooks, Lanier, and Lowndes. But it continues for Franklin, Jefferson, Madison, Taylor, and Wakulla. So again, I'm just gonna continue to track things here. Continue to monitor them. And in that new severe thunderstorm warning now until 1:45. You see that box there as parts of Hamilton, so northwestern Hamilton, Eccles, central Ware, central Clinch, and northwestern Charlton. Under that, they do have an area that's a little bit longer than maybe I would have thought. Further down under this than I would have expected. We have Jasper, Jennings, Fargo, Stephen Foster State Park, Statenville, Mayday, Needmore, Blue Springs, and Crossroads. And there's a tornado possible tag with this. So again, we'll track this here for you. Again, we'll monitor things a little bit longer. Again, just trying to give you guys the very latest here. Let me go ahead and check what we might have. Okay, I see a little bit of rotation now. Further to the south, it's not a lot. It's still very rural, but north of Needmore, we got a little bit of green and red. We'll watch that. We'll monitor it. We got Waycross here. That's a pixel to 50 miles an hour on east side of town. Could still be getting a little damage there around Waycross, even though it doesn't seem like it's a tornadic situation right now for town like we thought could be the case earlier on. But still, maybe some tree limbs or trees there. Power lines being impacted. As of a few moments ago, very few power outages reported in Ware County. Only 15 customers out, according to PowerData.us. But that could change here in moments. I mean, as it's not necessarily exactly real time. I have to kind of catch up a little bit to the actual reports here that come on in. It's not exactly real time. So just keep that in mind there. Again, we're still tracking this here for you. I see a little bit of red starting to come back again. Maybe a little bit of weak rotation. Maybe. Not really tight right now, but we'll watch it. We'll monitor it here. That'd be an issue more toward Pierce and Brantley counties here as we look ahead in the timeline. I know down here we'll watch this area as well. I don't think there's enough reasoning to stay on right now. Enough of a reason here to stick with. Oh, take that back. Okay, we just got a new warning now. It's not a tornado warning, but it actually did go with a severe thunderstorm warning for these two areas here in St. Johns County. So 1:30 now. We don't have much of any lighting, but there's enough concern here that we have severe thunderstorm warning that's in play now for that area. So at 1 o'clock, a severe thunderstorm was located over Sawgrass near Ponte Vedra Beach, moving northeast at 25 miles an hour. Palm Valley, Sawgrass, South Ponte Vedra, Nocatee, Guana River State Park, and South Ponte Vedra Beach all underneath this warning here. So that's a pretty populated area. So let's go ahead and check that out on our other view. It may not be just anything overwhelming there. I mean, I have hooks on them, but rotation's not very tight at all. So that's the good news. And right at the coast, could go water spouts with them, I'd say maybe later on. But you can see here, just right around Sawgrass, we have a little bit of wind. I'm surprised they should have warning on this stuff. Maybe they're seeing something I'm not, because they're also seeing inside hail possibility. I mean, sometimes you can get things to overachieve in these setups. You can't really see them, but honestly, I don't see a bunch there for maybe a warning. But they got ahead and issued it, so we'll make sure we take it seriously. The National Weather Service, they're in Jacksonville. Al Sandrick issuing this one until about 1:30 here for parts of St. Johns County. So, again, I'm just going to continue to watch here. Continue to give you guys the very latest. Let me go ahead and zoom back out. You can see here, zoom back in and over, only a couple months away from your afternoon type of severe thunderstorms where you have those warnings popping up. So up here, not a lot there. This might be back to something being a little bit more interesting. Let's check Jacksonville's view on it again. It's a little bit tighter there. That's interesting. Got to be kind of careful on that then, because that radar angle. I mean, we're still kind of high up on this, but just bear with me as we continue to watch things. But That angle there is kind of interesting. Just trying to give you guys the latest. It's all about protecting you, your friends, and your family. There's some weak rotation there at the lower level. Right there near US 82. So here's what we're going to do then, I think. Well, I'm trying to kind of organize how I may want to do this here. Okay, well, let's just stick with it for a little bit longer. I was thinking about maybe taking a break here in the cover to gather some more information, but let's stick with it. New marine warning here, getting further out. I know, watching things in St. Johns County. Definitely monitoring things here in the weather center. So again, let me go ahead and keep looking at things. Again, we're looking at some weak areas of rotation now in South Georgia, I would say. This area here, well, we're going to have to watch them for sure. I'm going to gather more information. I'm going to stick with it, but I'm just going to turn the mic off for about 30 seconds so I can gather some more information. So just bear with me, maybe closer to a minute. But we'll be right back here in the Weather Center. I'll leave this up. I just need to gather some more information here to watch things on this Saturday afternoon. It's March 9th, 2024. Back with you right now here at about 106, just gathering some new information here, trying to double check a couple of things. So again, let's go ahead and keep watching things here in Clinch County. That's tightening up a little bit right now, so gotta be careful here. They might try to go with a tornado warning if we're not careful. And as we get further up toward the north here around Ware County, well, I'm watching some weak rotation, trying to tighten back up a little bit too. So that could be an issue. They're looking toward Pierce and Bramley counties. So again, we're just going to keep on looking at things here in the Weather Center, trying to give you guys the latest here on exactly what's going on. So again, just trying to let you guys know exactly what is happening here. You can see there north of Fargo. I mean, this is not the most impressive thing we've ever seen, but we're watching that. We're watching this. But let's go back to St. John since it did issue the warning. We got to respect the warning here, respect the polygon. Around South Ponte Vedra Beach here, we're seeing a little bit of wind. I mean, these winds would add up probably, though, if these are reading accurately. I mean, a lot are only sound about 30 miles an hour. But again, we'll continue to watch here. Maybe we're getting some hail to an inch or something in there. That purple would indicate that's a possibility, at least. Right there on South Ponte Vedra Beach. It is a more populated area. So, but even there, I'm not seeing any type of signature and correlation coefficient that would indicate that. So that's some good news. But maybe at least smaller hail in here and gusts there. Just under severe limits. That would seem to be the most likely outcome with this in my assessment. But again, we'll continue to watch. We'll continue to track here. And we'll continue to give you guys the very latest. Let me just go ahead and keep checking here. Again, we have 3 severe thunderstorm warnings, no tornado warnings like we did earlier, but that could change. I could change here. That's why we're sticking with it. It looks like it's a little tighter, quite honestly. We have some greens and reds there trying to come together. We have some stuff there, a little bit less so. Waycross to Hoboken. I know we're going to keep looking here. We're going to keep monitoring Let's get back down toward the south here. At 107, it's a bit thunderstorm is located over South Ponte Vedra, 9 miles north of St. Augustine. Moving northeast at 30 miles an hour, 60-mile-an-hour wind gust and quarter-size hail possibility. South Ponte Vedra, Guana River State Park, and South Ponte Vedra Beach under this. Inch-size hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds. Up here under these warnings, these are both being updated right now by William Corliss at the Weather Service in Jacksonville. So, again, just trying to give you the latest. Right now, still watching some weak rotation there. It would look to be around US 441. Again, we'll track it. We'll monitor it. We'll give you guys the latest. You see around Waycross there to Hoboken. You see some weak rotation there. I know we've already had a history of having to kind of jump off and then come back on to a degree today, so that's why I'm sticking with it, but there's a chance they may still jump off and then have to come right back here with these tricky cells. That looks just a tad bit weaker, I would say, than it did a moment ago. As I'm kind of scrubbing back and forth. I know there's a flood advisory now for Jefferson, Madison, and Taylor, and Florida, and Lowndes, and Georgia at 4:15. We had all those blast flood warnings earlier, though, with the way things are set up. And then now this here, let's showing some winds there at about 59 miles an hour, about to cross over US 441 here. Again, the rotation not going away in that area. That's something to watch. Would like to see that go just a little weaker, and if it does, I'll be able to wrap it up. But that latest scan, well, it's about the same, Roy. Yeah, that's not really any stronger or weaker, but just don't want to get a tornado warning polygon the moment we get off here and have to jump right back, and especially for it being, this is towards Stephen Foster State Park / Ogie Swamp, so, I mean, that kind of tells a story here. That kind of tells a story. We're going to check, we're going to track here the very latest. Trying to give you guys everything you need here. Again, we'll continue to monitor. We'll continue to update you guys. Again, we're watching that there. We're watching this area. They look like there's storm area that could still be an issue, but I think we'll wrap it up on those two. Let's just check down here again. Yeah, it looks like it's starting to rotate a little more, but it's in the coastal waters, I think. Yeah, that's starting to get into coastal waters now, so just gotta be a little careful at the beach. So you don't want to be out in a storm, even though there's not too much lightning, but still gotta be careful there as we're tracking things. Again, that warning continuing there. Next is in another update on it. They must be seeing something I'm not, to be quite honest, because I'm not sure exactly what they're seeing on that storm, because it doesn't look all that impressive to me. Maybe they're getting some reports that I haven't seen yet into the office there at Jacksonville, because maybe some hail report, something like that. Because they sent another update, which generally when there's an update this quick, they're a little concerned for some issues. So 111, a severe thunderstorm is located over South Ponte Vedra, or 9 miles north of St. Augustine, moving northeast at 25 miles an hour. Hazard is 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, but also quarter-size hail. South Ponte Vedra, Guana River State Park, and South Ponte Vedra Beach. So, again, we'll watch that there. This line here is kind of more, I guess you could say, elongated, maybe. I'll back it up a little. I know we've been switching different views. I mean, in a way, it looks more organized to the south. I mean, there is more energy down here. We'll have to see if this becomes a squall line or not. Okay, and then Waycross here, over toward Hoboken. We're watching that there. We're tracking that. Okay, they just canceled the warning for St. John's. That's good news. They just canceled that warning for St. John's. Or after sending the update, they're saying it's moved out into the coastal waters like what we were suspecting. So got the instability. The tornado watch goes until 2. I don't know if they'll extend that or not. Maybe they see a severe thunderstorm watch down here. That almost would make more sense in a way with the instability values, but not as much of the wind values. But they may just go with neither. It's kind of probably what I would do, but we shall see. Still got to be paying attention here. Still could have, probably will have some warnings through the afternoon. I know the temperatures, I saw them down there a second ago, but they are warm. They're very warm out there. 80s, mid 80s in some spots, upper 80s, 88 towards south side of Duval County. We're at 80, but we're at here to start. Part of that, I think, is because we got a cool and shower earlier. So we got to still pay attention with these type of instability values. Those are very high, actually. But supercell composite, well, it didn't overlap directly to the east, maybe over the tornado parameters. Things are just not in the exact right storm mode here, but it's close, and we got to pay attention in case things kind of surge over like we had happen. And I didn't mean to hit that. I was around here. There, I was looking back. It was a set in our system for Hurricane Otis last year. No, so the reason we're showing this to you guys here, we got to be kind of careful because things could still ramp back up like they did in Alabama there back late in the night, where things kind of came into play all of a sudden. Okay, new warning. Let's see. I wasn't sure they'd reissue on this. I was thinking maybe not, but they've gone ahead and reissued a warning on that storm there east of Waycross now around Hoboken. And we haven't had a whole bunch of damage reports today. That's why we haven't been sticking on some of these more tornado reports, maybe than your wind damage reports, straight line so far. We did have one in Leon earlier, but this is the new warning until 2 o'clock for Brantley, Pierce, Ware, and Wayne counties. 60-mile-an-hour winds a possibility, moving northeast at 30 miles an hour. A severe thunderstorm near Blackshear, but also just around Hoboken, a possibility they could be having some issues there too. And then down here, that's still showing pretty strong, but it's in a very rural area for now, and that warning goes to 145. So down to the 2 warnings. We're still watching them carefully. They may have to come back on here, at least post more, I would think, on Facebook/Twitter as we're watching things today. Under that other warning went away down in St. John's. That's good news. We're back. Of course, there's more tornado warnings, but certain severe thunderstorm warnings will get us back on, and if not on, we'll be posting all those on Facebook there, Casey Cloud Reacts Cloud Weather, and then Twitter/exit Cloud Casey. Stay tuned, stay safe. We'll be back here as needed through the day.